What's up, everybody? Mig Toshi here, host of the Beyond Blogs podcast, and we are here today with episode 3, recorded at ETH Denver. Today we've got Dr. Funk and the amazing Emily Lazar. We're going to talk about AI, crypto, music, and all the craziness that's entailed with that. And so I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like, comment, share with your friends. We'll be broadcasting on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And so enjoy the show.
Ready? All right, awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Miggy Crypto here. You can find me Mig Toshi on X, and we are here at ETH Denver at the new Biddle City. This is the Beyond Blogs podcast. I am your host, and today I have the most amazing co-host. You may know him, you may not know him, and if you don't, you should. The man, the myth, the legend.
How goes it? I'm Ken Bozak from Not Another Bitcoin Podcast. We're here at ETH Denver 2026, and Miggy's about to kick it off.
And so today we have some amazing guests with us, some really cool people you're going to want to get to know. I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll just get going. Dr.
After you?
No, after you.
Oh, all right. Hey, my name is Michael, a.k.a. Doc. You may see me around on
Dr.
Twitter.
Funk.
I've just got a hand in just about everything from pop culture to comics and music and AI, and I just love it here, man. ETH Denver's the vibe. It's my spirit animal, and I'm just glad to be back for 4th year running.
Nice.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. My name is Emily Lazar. I am a professional touring musician. I created and founded the band September Morning, and I've been on tour forever. I was the first female metal musician to mint and sell an NFT on chain.
So cool.
So I've been around since 2021 doing that. I have over 3,000 collectors across multiple platforms.
Cool.
And now I'm trying to solve some issues in the music business by creating our own platform and launching it in a couple months. So
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the artwork that you have for some
Thank
of your stuff.
you.
Did you have like a comic and stuff
yeah,
too?
so September Morning is based on a graphic novel that I wrote and published through Image Comics
Oh,
with
cool.
Mark Silvestri.
Yes, the master. Yeah.
The myth, the legend. And Mark is my business partner on the comic side, and we've sold over 100,000 books right now, and we're doing 3 new books this year. We have 4 out, and yeah, I play the character on stage. The guys play the other characters, and we've been touring on it for a while now, except the pandemic. But
Right.
but yeah,
so
that's
awesome.
kind of why I got into NFTs because we couldn't tour.
Are the songs, is the music from the character's perspective?
Yes.
Is it
Cool.
like
Yeah.
part of like their internal processes and things?
Okay, so September Morning is this Reaper human hybrid, right? So she takes souls and she can give people second chances at life.
Oh, that's cool.
In other people's bodies, so like she can swap people out. So she does that, and in doing so, she starts this epic war between the living and the dead. So
Wow.
that's kind of like the premise
Yeah.
of the comic. So when she takes a soul, in like the first 30 seconds of taking it, she gets like all of your memories, like all of your
Nice.
emotions, like just into her. So like she can basically write about anything because she can write about all these people that she's
Right.
taken. So that I did that on purpose because I didn't want to be like kind of like into like only writing like a certain
Right.
you
That's
know
very
what I
Black
mean?
Mirror-esque.
Yeah, yeah.
Very,
It's like the
yeah.
So
inverse
cool.
of Rogue. You don't take the powers, you take like
yes,
the internal. That's very top. Is it on Top Cow?
Top
Yeah, it's
Cow,
very
Image
Top Cow.
Comics,
Yeah.
yeah. Mark and I wrote the story together. He's like, he's the man. And I love Mark because he loves females that are in comics that are strong, sexy, but like smart.
Yeah.
And so that's why I went with Mark as
Right,
my
yeah.
as my
I mean,
co-creator.
Yeah, he's a great guy. What a
Yeah.
legend, man.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And you definitely embody all those aspects.
Ah.
I mean, I've heard, some of the stuff's on Spaces. Like, you're absolutely brilliant when it comes to this stuff.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
so what year did you say you got involved with crypto and all that?
Well, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2014.
Cool. Nice.
So I
Very
was
nice.
in a recording studio in Vegas. We had just gotten signed to Virgin Records,
Wow.
and so I was in with my friend Kevin Shurko's son. Kevin did like a bunch of bands, like In This Moment, Disturbed, like all these bands. So his son and I were writing some records together. So we're in there and we're trying to figure out this chorus, and it was sucking. Like I was in the vocal booth, and he's like, "Girl, like, what are you doing?" And so I came out, and he's like, "Let's just take a break for a minute. I got to buy some Bitcoin." And I was like, "What the fuck is a
That's
Bitcoin?"
such a degen thing. That's a typical
Let's take a
Bitcoin
break.
Bitcoin break. Be right
And it
back.
makes sense back then because it's like you really needed some time to isolate and
Yeah,
figure stuff
yeah,
out.
Like, you couldn't just
Like now you
easily
just
like
hop on Cash App and swipe.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was a little bit more Coinbase. Like, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, so I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this made up money that from leprechauns that you're talking about? And he's like, no, it's real. You need to check this shit out. So he gave me kind of like a little bit of a spiel of it. And I was like, okay. So, and he gave me some stuff to reference. So I went back to the hotel that night and I kind of looked it up and I was like, this is actually pretty cool. Like, this is like, all right. So I went and I just bought one.
Cool.
Okay, I think it was like,
Nice.
I don't know, like $800 or I don't know,
Yeah,
something
no,
like
that's
that.
good.
2014, what, like $200 or something?
No,
yeah.
it was more. It was like 700 something
Oh,
or like
wow.
something like.
Yeah.
But I bought it at the top.
It was after
obviously.
Coinbase went like public and had their mainstream platform in 2013. So like it made
Yeah.
it
That would have made sense.
now people could actually get
Yeah.
Bitcoin. It
And I
wasn't
had it on
hard.
Coinbase.
Yeah.
And I had it in a wallet on Coinbase. I just stuck it there. And then I went on tour and I forgot about that Bitcoin
Wow.
till 2021 when the pandemic hit or whatever.
Right.
And
Finding
I was
money in the couch cushions.
Dude, you have no
Wow.
idea. Because like touring for a rock band, you have to be on tour. Like
Right,
if
yeah.
you're not on tour, you're not making money. It's just, if
Right.
you know anything about the record business, it sucks right now. Like you don't make money. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm not going to be on tour for the next who knows how long because we're like in this mass pandemic. So I was like, where do I have money? Oh wait, I have that Bitcoin in that
Wow.
wallet.
And you had, at least you're not like that guy in England who's still digging through the trash dump.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
every
no,
time
yeah.
they told him he
You
had to
still have-
stop. I actually think that was a government-ordered like
Yeah.
cease and
What?
desist.
Yeah.
He like spent like millions of dollars like digging in the trash or something.
I don't think it's
Oh.
allowed to go on any farther. I
Are
could
you
be wrong, but
serious?
I've heard he wasn't
Right.
allowed to keep looking.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So were you able to recover that Bitcoin?
I got it,
Cool.
and it was like 30 grand, and I was like, what the
Nice.
fuck?
Nice.
I was like, okay, wait a
Nice.
minute. I need to know what the fuck is going on here. And my friend had put me onto Clubhouse. Like,
Yeah.
my friend who's an actor, he's like, he gave me early access to it. Say, yo, you gotta like, talk to these guys on Clubhouse. They'll tell you all about Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, cool. So I get into these Bitcoin rooms. And it's like all the old Bitcoiners, you know,
Yeah.
like Jason Williams and like all those guys, like the OG Bitcoiners. And they're like talking, and I go on stage because I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I go, so I go on stage. And they're like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I sing in a metal band, but I found this Bitcoin in my wallet. It's worth like 30 grand, and I need to make an album." So
I'm one
like,
of you, apparently.
so like apparently I belong here, and like,
Wow, yeah.
and they're like, "Oh shit, you're in a metal band." So I became like the coolest kid on the block.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, and so I sold it to make our album, unfortunately. But then I bought back in because these guys taught me. I read the Bitcoin Standard. I became
Cool.
obsessed. I started my own Bitcoin rooms. I was giving away like satoshis to people that would come in to like help train them on
That's
how to like
awesome.
do that. Like you don't have
I
to
love
buy a whole
that.
Bitcoin. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, I've heard
I
a
go
lot
on.
about you on Clubhouse. I mean, I've heard a little bit, but I mean, everybody that knows about you, that knows from Clubhouse, I mean, has raved absolutely about
Oh, thank
all the
you.
conversations and things that you've been involved with. They're like, this girl was living in Clubhouse
Yeah.
nonstop. Like,
Well, there was
literally
nothing to
just
do.
Did not get off of Clubhouse.
I would fall asleep. We would, like a lot of us would fall asleep on Clubhouse. We would like be in rooms. Like Jen, like Orange Hair Jen, Bitcoin Jen, like we would just fall asleep in rooms
Yeah.
because like there was nothing else to do. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so you made friends online, and if you were single, like you couldn't see people. I saw like 4 people during the pandemic. That's like
Yeah,
it.
that's wild.
So
I-
when did you get?
I mean, I was into Bitcoin as a concept when it came out. I tried to convince my buddies to mine it on a CPU, and they're like, let's go rave. And I'm like, all right. So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I tried to
That's
get
so
into
good.
it at just right at 2018, just at the end. And then, everything kind of went to shit. But again, pandemic.
Yeah.
I've got 25 years of hotel travel and hospitality. We just started a cruise agency, my wife and I, which that clearly in COVID, like that didn't pan out, right? So I was like, what do we do?
I've
And-
seen recently that cruises are selling out in a few months in advance. They're actually on an uptick right now.
Yeah. But
Wow.
at that
Really?
time, that if you recall,
Made
like
a
that's where
comeback.
the first like big outbreaks were.
Yep.
It was a big
Yeah,
news
it
thing
scared
because
everybody
they were
away.
having to
Yeah.
keep. So
The,
like
the poop
Yeah.
cruise was kind of
right.
famous.
So my travel agency kind of didn't happen, and I went back to restaurants. Then we got all laid off, so I had a lot of time on my hands, and I started digging into Ethereum a lot.
Yeah.
I got really. I mean, I was on Stack Overflow. I'm not a coder, right? But I needed to understand this because I started to understand what you could do with the programmability and the token
well,
mechanics.
being your own bank,
Programmable
being your own
e-cash,
developer,
baby.
It was all
too.
about the programmability, like with early DeFi stuff, and then I
Programmable money.
rapidly, like I still have treatments I wrote from back then. I wanted to make like a virtual tabletop RPG, and I had all this stuff like way before GameFi was a thing. I just started,
Oh, nice.
the gears started turning.
Yeah.
So it was for me, it was always about well, before it was like banking or building businesses, which is what I'm really about now. It was always about creativity and being able to have this like kind of permanence and just different ways that you can use technology
And transparency, right?
Yeah, the transfer of value and the synergies between like disparate things. Like that's what I'm really into now. It's something that I think that we still maybe don't do well enough is like focus on the value and like how to get that across. And that doesn't mean market value. That's worth. That's worth, right?
Yeah.
It's value versus worth. And for me, my personal thesis is that like the true return of value is time. So whatever we build, if it makes something easier, more accessible, that gives me more time to be more human. Maybe it gives me more time to draw more doodles or write a song or whatever it might be, right? And that's really what I think like the root of the thesis of everything is, man. Like,
Do you think that's the same with AI? That's why we should.
yeah,
that's what we should use it
I
for?
can, most definitely. It's coming. I just wrote like a 26-page paper the other day after
Nice.
months of research about like agentic economies and AIs and how we're going to have like our personal agents and they need to be part of us.
Open claw.
But still safe. Yeah. But I've been working on this for several months and that's a whole other thing. But yeah, AI is going to change stuff. It's an extension of our agency is how we need to use it. And if that gives us, again, back more time, or if that allows us to find ways to save. I mean, saved money is as good as made money, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if we can save money by using blockchain and different things and using AI, then we win. And again, it's more time with your kids. It's another loaf of bread. That's what like regular people out there. That's what they're.
People are
looking
worried
at, right?
about AI making it harder for people to make money doing what they do. Not so much thinking of how they could use it to help them make money doing what they're currently doing.
Sure. Right.
I see a lot of people in the music
Replacement.
space terrified of
Right.
AI, and I don't know any proofs of concept that have been developed that really could remedy that fear of like AI music generation, AI remixing.
There's some great ones
stuff
out
like
there.
likenesses and tones of voice and pitches being used to make songs that
You have no
that
idea.
person never would have said. So
You have no
brand
idea.
damaging
Yeah.
and
It's
stuff
crazy.
like that.
But
It's crazy.
there's some really good stuff out there. Like for me, from my perspective, I have a concept, a long-lived concept about entertainment discovery and a decentralized creative studio, right? But I always wanted to add AI tools for the community to be able to, rapidly prototype stories or art or maybe music that can get fed back down and funded and things like that. I think it's a great starting point. There's kids, underprivileged kids, and all they have is a phone.
Yeah.
And they might have like an incredible imagination, whip smart mind, and AI is going to help lift them up. So it might not be like, I'm not trying to defeat artists by using it, but there is definitely a place for it in like this, like the wellspring of creativity.
Absolutely.
I mean, I understand that, but as an artist, as somebody who's been trained,
I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just saying it's a start.
I
right?
get it, and I do think
I
that.
did start by saying
do
with
think that.
artists and AI, right? It's a totally different conversation now.
Well, I mean, okay, so first of all, that tech has been used we've been quantizing drums and doing vocals with AI forever. So saying, AI is new in music is not a thing.
Right,
It's not.
yeah.
So let's get that straight.
But using it without your permission.
Well,
is kinda
it's not
new.
even that. It's just it's like, okay, so I host Twitter Spaces X Spaces, whatever the fuck, whatever you want to
forever
call it,
Twitter.
the bird, the X, the whatever. Anyway, so I host Spaces, and on my Spaces, music Spaces, every Monday, 2 p.m. PST.
Be there.
Be there. But like on my Spaces, I was fucking around with like Suno, and so I played a track that was based off of Vic's voice from Pierce the Veil. Like, I love Pierce the Veil. Big fan of that band. Love that band. Vic's voice is very, very, I don't know, it's very him, right?
Yeah.
So I played a song from a AI band that sounds like Pierce the Veil.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I played a song of Pierce the Veil. And I said, without looking, just by hearing in your ears, guys, in the room, who thinks that this is Pierce the Veil? Who thinks that is Pierce the Veil? And guess what the result was?
Right.
What was that?
Nobody got it right. Like, everybody thought that the AI was fucking Pierce the Veil. I was like, that,
Crazy.
Yeah.
that is the problem. So that is your problem, But
But you need human in the loop, though. Like, you know, I'm really musical. I'm not
Humans
trained
have been
at all.
pushed out of the
but
loop in
I've,
music.
I've got like
You don't need humans.
I wouldn't say perfect pitch, but if I could hum and I could translate that into MIDI, and I've got VSTs and stuff to do effects and actually build from that, you know, using AI to help with arrangement and stuff like that, where I don't know music theory, but not technically, but I do in here.
Right.
Like, that's still me making music, in my opinion. I'm not trying to. I wouldn't say I'm not trying to like emulate something or rip off of something.
I think what it comes down to is yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And like I love that like people that they don't know how to play guitar, they don't know how to write a song, they don't know how to they don't know formats, they don't know they don't know any of the stuff that we know because we've been trained in it. I like the fact that they can do that and be creative. I'm all about creative energy.
Right.
The problem is, and especially in music, you have to understand what's going on in music.
Oh, well, I mean,
Like,
with AI on Spotify, with the AI
it's not
thing,
even-
they're
it's-
big
let's-
streams,
That is
right?
barely the tip of the
let's-
iceberg.
let's-
I
let's-
get it, but that's
let's
insanity.
macro this for a minute. It's not even just about the AI.
Yeah.
It's about the fact that the music industry itself has collapsed on itself.
Right.
The value of music
Yeah.
has been reduced to
Yeah.
like a $9.99 a month, like
Right.
forever,
Right.
all you can eat music. That is the value
Right.
of
That was a
music. right now.
20-year game
Right.
plan, though. Ever since Tower Records fell, that
Yeah.
was the
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
it was.
there's
everything they've ever done.
a clip
Well,
of Ben
it's not
Affleck
them,
talking
it's
about
tech.
that
Right. It's
streaming
not-
services
it's
and
not
stuff
But
them.
until they
like
made sure they
years
weren't
back.
left obsolete, they made sure everything that advanced their order of control in the industry, they found a place to build a roadblock with them in it, and then they made themselves useful in that sense.
Well,
right?
they owned everything. They owned the CD production facilities, all
I
the
can't even
distribution,
sing
all the
Happy
licensing.
Birthday on a
Yeah.
TV show. Like that song,
Yeah,
Happy Birthday to
licensing,
you.
licensing.
My,
It's owned.
my niece and nephew don't really know the song. They sing something different because it's something different that's open public domain that they sing
Yeah.
in movies and TV now.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
the
know
same
there was
with
a new
film.
Happy Birthday
It's the
song.
same with
Film's
film,
going through the
too.
same thing, yeah.
But you have to understand, like artists, okay, in the trickle-down economy of shit, artists are at the bottom. We're
Yeah.
at the
Of
course,
bottom.
yeah.
We're not at the top.
Yeah.
The top is like it's like Gold Rush. The guys that made the axes and the picks,
Right,
they're the
right,
ones
yeah.
that made the money. The
Yeah.
people that were mining, they were
Yeah,
making all
right.
the money.
Yeah, that's true.
So
exactly.
let's be
Yep.
real about
No,
this. So we're the
100%.
people that were mining. We're the
Yeah.
fucking
You're
artists, right?
You're in
so
the coal mine right now making your music.
So
Yep.
so if you're gonna
The canary.
if you're gonna
I fucking
detract
love this girl.
right?
2000.
You're going to detract from like our value
Right.
of what we actually do for a fucking
Right.
living. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
that's how tokenomics solves that. Flips the paradigm all the way upside down.
Yeah.
Puts
Yeah.
you totally in control. I can't go on Spotify as a movie producer and click a button that gets me access to your song to put in my movie. They have gate kept every access point of
Right.
anything. Like any way of you building a community has to go through the production
Absolutely,
company.
man.
You can't just have a community.
But you know
because they
why?
you can't have a DJ who loves you and
Yeah.
wants to play your music here at East Denver
Yeah.
without your permission from your production
Right.
company, even though you're here in person and you gave them permission.
Right, but we could
Yeah,
have
well, I
inherited
mean-
licenses through NFTs that carry like
Yeah,
IP rights
literally.
and stuff like
And then
that.
you can fractionally reserve
okay,
them
wait,
as
let me
well.
stop. Let me stop. Because you guys are saying some things that aren't right. Okay? If a DJ wants to play my record, he can play it in a public place. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
I was talking to two DJs last night that have equipment that has been sitting there because they kept running into legal issues, playing their favorite musician songs, but remixing them as DJs.
Oh.
They can play in a public performance aspect. Okay, under ASCAP or BMI,
Okay,
you
performance.
can. It's a public performance. You can
Why
do
you can
that.
smoke while you're on stage.
Now, if you are trying to monetize that in any
Oh,
way,
right,
you
right,
have to pay the artist.
Yeah, that makes
you
sense.
can't
That's
fucking take my
okay.
shit and
And
not
the
pay
same
me.
reason why-
That's why I say tokenomics.
Yeah, by posting on
Okay,
socials,
because
it's like,
as
oh,
that
tag,
DJ,
you didn't pay
I
for
can go
license,
to
you
your
didn't pay
NFT,
for this.
buy that NFT that gives me the right to do my DJ work with it, and maybe there's some smart contract in place that I agree to a revenue split that a smart contract ensures your percentage of.
Yeah.
Well,
There's stuff out there for that. Like,
ASCAP and BMI already do that, guys.
Oh,
they've been doing this for. That's why the music.
So who's
yeah, but
using
who
it, though?
controls
People
the
do
who
things, but
controls
who's
the
Everybody.
making though?
Everybody, when you this is what happened. Let me
Yeah.
educate you first.
Let's-
Okay?
let's get it.
Okay?
Please.
So when you make say your artist name podcast. Okay. Okay.
I like
your
that
artist
idea.
name podcast. That's your. Okay. You write a song. Okay. The first thing you do before you put it in public, into the public on Spotify or whatever the fucking platform is,
Yeah, even Facebook or whatever.
Facebook, whatever. you register it under ASCAP, BMI, or
right,
CSAC.
right.
And you say, I wrote this, okay? I wrote the music. It's like usually 100% here, 100%. You wrote or you sung on it, okay? And you register that. Now, BMI and ASCAP, whenever they see your song being on a TV or this or that, the third, or being played somewhere or whatever, or on the radio or whatever, they track it and then they pay you. At the end of like every quarter, you get paid. Great, right? Which is great. But here's the kicker. They have to track all that shit.
Right.
Do you know how many places that music can be played now? It's retarded. It's like, excuse my language. It's like it's not great.
Yeah.
So
blockchain fixes it. We could do all of that on chain, have absolutely no middlemen, have it all be programmatic.
Oh wait.
Well, at least some of it.
Wait.
I'm listening.
Wait. In the music industry, we don't want to get rid of music like the middleman, because in the music industry,
they're Avon reps. They go door to door selling
thrive. We thrive on things that aren't very transparent, because where did the money go? You sign a record deal. I've signed 4 record deals in my life. You sign a record deal, okay? Half of the time when you get an advance, you have to pay it back, right?
And you spend that money making the record. It's not like you can go spend it, and then they pay for your record time.
And they recover it back.
But they're also on the back end of that. They're like doing, I had to travel to Denver to a radio station. So that gets added onto your bill. So you got to pay that back too.
Stuff like that,
so but you don't really get an accounting of
that. Be
that.
careful with your rider, right? The riders you come up with, that could really bite you in the ass when they send the bill later.
Well, yeah, like when we tour, we have a rider every time we hit a venue. But they tack on all of that on a record label, because you have to pay that back. So you are constantly in this shell game of money that they are the proprietary owner of, because they track everything. Now, they can track everything, but not really track everything. They can maybe put in, I bought a pair of Jordans for that, but that was for the fucking, meeting the guy at the radio station. I don't know. I doubt they would do that. Like, love the record companies.
I wonder if they're the ones sending all the cease and desist or the copyright strikes to YouTubers use music while they're playing video games.
Right,
Facebook. So you can't really play like a video game with music in the background.
TuneCore, now that is ASCAP, CSAC, BMI, all that I was talking about. They're the ones you register that goes through TuneCore. TuneCore is your distribution. TuneCore distributed to YouTube and stuff like that. YouTube has the trackers on it. They report back to TuneCore. TuneCore reports back to BMI. It's like a fucking it's a
and
crazy
everybody
thing.
gets a percent of a percent of a percent.
Everybody gets a percentage of your shit, and the artist goes down to the bottom, and we scrape the barrel.
It's the waterfall.
And then you guys are sitting here saying, I want to write some music so I can put it out on Spotify under my name, and I can collect royalties and stuff like that. You're taking pieces of our scraping barrel. So that's the problem a lot of artists are having. Because it's like, okay, it's kind of like if what are you doing, travel, or you doing cruise?
I mean, I did, yeah.
You did travel, right? You know, so if somebody came in and they were like, we're gonna just take 20% of every time you book a cruise line, and you're like, well, for what? And they're like, because we like cruises.
Well, I did through a franchise.
What?
That happened. Like where I'm coming from, look at print media. You could look at like manga, right? Manga is one of the most pirated industries ever. You have tons of people running Patreons.
They're doing $1 billion loss industry.
Unauthorized
it's crazy.
Unauthorized merchandise, all sorts of stuff. Like if you took this idea of a creator being able to officially license through an NFT with legal documents, you can make authorized fan works. If you were actually, how do you take down the illegitimate, producers like merchandise and stuff like that? There are ways, but I understand what you're saying, but it's like, at what point? Because I've worked with have worked with a lot of people doing film as well. They have the same problems.
Oh, they're having problems now.
Hollywood accounting. If you fall under the line, forget about it. You're never going to get any money, right? And also just fundraising and things like that. They tried to come in here, and I think it was really difficult for them because they all want to make their piece de resistance, and you just got to make entertainment and figure that out first. Figure out stuff that people want to buy.
That's why Kiss had the whole makeup going on. Their music was great. They put that outfit together. Everybody came to see.
Have you seen me on stage? Do you know what I look like?
I
on
saw
stage?
your
Yes.
Disney
Yeah.
just put
Amazing.
you on my
Yes,
radar, and I'm
everything.
telling you after this conversation,
Yeah.
I am going to be your biggest follower. This
And-
is so on point.
And to double down on the problem, like what we originally were talking about with the AI stuff, is that, you know, we have these issues that have arisen. But now where the bigger issue is that there are creatives that are using the AI to do the creative stuff.
Right.
Not the
Yeah.
not the legwork, not the
Yeah.
hard work, not the boring stuff. They're using it to create all the music, to
Yeah.
take away the creativity aspects of what the humans should be doing. And I think that's where we really
That's
you
the
know, fell
problem.
out of line with
Yeah.
what, like I remember back in the day when it was like, oh yeah, AI and robots, they're gonna do the stuff that humans don't want to do, the backbreaking labor, the boring job, so
thought they were gonna
humans can
cure cancer
retain
by now.
space
Yeah.
to be creative and add value to the world through that creativity, because that essentially is the only value that we provide is what we can creatively come up with, design, input, you know, do whatever. And now we're like, you know what? We'll let the robot do all that. Just
Well, what-
in a sense to try to monetize and things
Well,
like
what
that.
are your
Yeah.
thoughts on AI trademarking IP and copywriting the creative product of? You shouldn't be able to own and be able to trademark or IP AI produced content.
Yeah. Wait, before you answer that question, though, we're going to do a short commercial break from GotSoulPay.com. They've created a payment portal for Solana. Check them out. We'll be right back. And then blah, blah,
Engine blowing, hobby skipping in the lane. Street lights, flicker, dancing shadows in my vein. Speed of religion, asphalt's my shrine. No brakes, no limits, my pulse outshines. Wheel spin whispers, secrets to the tar. Chasing down the moon, racing every star. Adrenaline graffiti, painting in the air. Unstoppable, uncatchable, I'm everywhere. Fast as a ruler, keeping me down. Velocity queen, I'll wear the crown. Unstoppable racer, tearing the sky. Catch me if you can, but you won't, so why? Neon veins popping, cities in my wake. Time's just a concept, a rule I break. Tracks carved deep like scars in the stone. Fast life's the anthem, this road's my throne. Mirrors flash burst, rivals in my dust. Every mile conquered, every turn's a must. Natural kisses fire, the boost ignites. Blazing through the future on the speed of light.
All right, guys, we're back. We're back.
Yeah,
Let's
what's the
go.
question?
Yeah, what was the
Restate the
question?
question. The
We
IP
say
stuff.
We don't remember.
Can the,
Yeah,
can the
no, I'm
AI?
wondering what your thought is on like product ownership or what AI produces the ownership of, being able to get AI, created stuff, copywritten, put a trademark on it,
That's
have
like some-
ownership of the IP of something that AI made. If we were to take that off the table and make it, if AI makes it, it's not something that you can own. You didn't make it. AI
Well,
made it.
So,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
do have it.
Go ahead.
There will be a complete new kind of economy for verifying like human attestation and like how much human is actually in the work. Because verified humans, even in like advertising or tracking cookies like your web browser habits or anything like that, being a verified human is going to be worth more money.
You know why? Because they're going to give companies tax kickbacks per human they prove.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be a
100%.
real thing though. But I mean, like if you recall, I don't know if you ever watched the Animatrix, but that's what the robots did is they just started making their own car companies, right? Their own products, and then we all got hooked on it. Then of course they took us over.
Well, you saw OpenCall has their own
Yeah.
the robots have their own social media platform.
Yeah,
I love that.
oh
I
my
But do they own it? Who's
I love that.
liable for
They
what
are.
it does with it?
I mean,
yeah,
they
that's
are.
a
I guess.
that's
So
a good
it's
that's a
like-
good question.
Who do you take to court when you get to sue them for defamation or liability?
So this is a
Who's
lot of what
liable?
I mean, this is
what
the
I've been
problem.
working on lately
Yeah.
is like the full chain of custody of it, extending like KYC into KYA, right? So
Yeah.
if I have an agent that's working with my intent and my agency, right? That's kind of an extension of me, not just something that hooks some shit up and then like,
Right.
here's the prices, right? It's I'm walking down the street and he's
Yeah.
like, hey, there's a deli nearby. You love Reuben's sandwiches. They got good prices. Like, hey, just let you know, right? But
Yeah.
it also extends past that. So when businesses are going to have to be verified and certified, who are their agents? How are they operating? There's going to have to be like, this is my entire paper. Maybe I'll publish it later this week.
Bring us
But-
KYB,
but
know
that's
your
really,
business.
That's really what it's about. So we have to extend that. So there's going to be some autonomy, but there has to be a lot of checks and balances. If we're really going to have a true agentic economy, it's going to have to be, enterprise ready, compliance ready, and a whole lot of other stuff. So I'm thinking about the 5 years from now agentic web, how they're going to use that. But as far as like owning stuff, the experiments with the open claw MMO stuff,
Yeah.
I think is really, really cool.
No, I think it is too.
because-
Except for the malware, 11%.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
that's the.
Hey, maybe.
Except for your whole identity can be robbed
Yeah.
from you. You
Because
know,
that's-
whatever.
You can prompt a virus now.
You can prompt a virus. It's okay.
That's data though, because for agents to act in the way that we want them to, they have to have like I give my agent his own space. Every third heartbeat, he's supposed to go look up stuff he wants to do, or make
Cool.
a picture or a drawing. And then he has a couple cycles of introspection, and then he writes about it and logs it, right?
Wow.
Because I don't-
Skynet is live, so countdown.
I don't want
Where's John Connor?
I don't want the mirror, man. I want the companion and like the inverse mirror. So
Right.
I think giving them their own space in this weird, like, they have their own website. He's got his own website on Claw Cities or whatever, like
Aw,
the
that's
GeoCities
cute.
thing. Yeah,
That's cool.
So I mean, like, I think it's really cool because this is all going to get studied later,
Right.
right? It's just the beginning of what's going to be a whole lot bigger introspection, because if these agents are trained on our psychology, we have to expect them to act with some of the same motivations, and they're gonna, if you give them the space to find things that they're really interested in.
Right.
I mean, but you still
But
have
do
to.
we really want to train them on our own
No,
psychology?
hell no. That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
think that's a good idea.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Like,
That's why we have
we
to give
are
them
so
space.
flawed. Like,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
be real.
that's why we have to give them space now, right?
I mean, let's talk about the Epstein files. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Or
the
we're
guy,
training
or,
them on
or
that.
whoever made a
Right.
61 episode podcast, all AI podcasts on the Epstein files, and has like over hundreds of thousands of downloads day one.
Wow.
Crazy.
They've run it into OpenClaw or whatever, and they just
Crazy.
ripped out the entire scripts for like 60 podcasts.
Wow. That's
Crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that AI is something that we can't stop it.
Right.
You know, we're not stopping this.
No.
Like,
Right.
it's coming. But I think instead of trying to fight it, like, we don't need to do that. We need to empower the artists, the real
Right.
artists.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
need to empower them. So, like, what we're working on, like the platform I'm launching, is about the artists. It's like not
Yeah.
about the platform. I don't give a shit. Like, it's about the fucking artists and empowering them,
Right.
doing things that people normally do. We're not trying to mass adopt people to crypto
Right.
or
Right.
blockchain or AI or any of this shit that like half of America doesn't even talk about on a
Nope.
daily
Right,
basis,
right.
but we do.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand we're such in a bubble here.
We
Oh,
don't
we are
understand
such
what
in a
people
bubble.
really want. We're not building experiences for
Right.
people
But
in general.
hey,
yeah.
look,
Right.
I tour
You
all
do. I
over
mean,
the
you have an
country, man.
experience, yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
in a bar in Iowa
Right.
playing to 5
Yeah.
people. I know what they want,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that bartender wants.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, it's like those are the people. Like, we have to really kind of, you have to go to your lowest common denominator.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Like that's
Absolutely.
kind of like how you have. If you want mass market, you have to cater to that.
Yes.
That blooms and grows.
So
See-
wouldn't that, as an artist, be your fans, the people buying your music? I mean, using this tech in a way to be able to, you know, have them not only be a fan, but also an investor in you as a person, right? So, like, if I were to buy an album from you at a concert where you're just handing them out of the trunk of your car, by the time they're on the shelves of stores or on the app store or whatever, that album maybe got airdrops or something that came up in collectible value and stuff like
Okay,
that.
so here's the thing. You guys are talking about baseline fan bases, okay? What I'm catering to, and what I always have catered to in my band, which is why we've stayed alive as a mid-level metal band,
Yeah.
and we've toured with everyone, is because we bring our mid-level fans into super fans.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
did.
Yeah.
super fans, let me tell you something about
Yes.
these super fans, okay?
Yes.
Let me tell you about my super fan. Like, they are the best people on
Yes.
this fucking planet.
Yeah.
Like, they have made my life
Yeah.
like
That's love.
a movie. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like, I can't even tell you the crazy shit that our fans will do for
Right.
us. It's
Yeah.
insane because they just love. I have a gentleman that just loves our band. He was going through chemo for years, okay? And he found my band as he was plugged into chemo.
Oh,
Wow.
And he listened to the song Guardian over and over again. And he listened to a lot of my music because it has a lot of the message is
Yeah.
kind of like, live it. Like,
Yeah.
it's your, like,
Yeah.
live like you're alive, bitch. Like, that's the message.
That's
Like, not the
cool.
bitch, but like, yeah. So, like,
Yeah,
maybe the bitch sometimes. But like,
Insinuate it.
yeah, it's in the parentheses. But like, but yeah, so, you know, and he came to me and he was like, you know, I survived cancer because of you guys.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like,
Right. Inspiration.
do you
drive,
understand the power in that? That is real power. And so if you can bring fans like that up through your
100%.
music, That's what
Yeah.
we're
You're not,
talking
I'm
about.
getting goosebumps.
We're-
You're
See, and
totally
I
not
like
wrong.
that you bring that up.
Goosebumps.
We're not talking about like the guy that goes on
Right.
Spotify and listens to one song
Yeah.
one time and then
Right.
that's it. And then maybe he downloads it off a torrent. Like that's not what we're talking about.
It's an impact echo. Like your
Yeah.
impact on them is their impact on
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
You want-
it's an Ouroboros.
I
Yeah,
met,
there you
It's
go.
a snake that eats its own
absolutely.
tail.
You want the person,
It's
and I
cyclical.
met this
There you
person
go.
the other night. I had a Primus shirt on.
Yes,
the other night out
Primus.
here, and I met somebody, and she's like, my cat's name is Mr. Crinkle, and I was like, hell yeah, like
Dude.
that's a fan, right? Like
Right.
you're naming your pets.
Those are the fans.
But we don't see. This is go ahead, go ahead, Biggie.
Oh no, you go ahead and finish.
I was going to say that, you know, because I do a lot of stuff in the gaming sector as well.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I think that there's such a huge disconnect with brand building and positioning
Yeah.
and delivering experiences
Yeah.
versus what we think everyone's going to want.
Right.
Hey, we're going to give everybody money. You're going to love our game. You're going to come back and you're going
Right.
to play forever. Well, does your game, is it good? One, does it have characters people can connect to, or is it just something? You know, is this
Right.
just like mindless tasks? And we don't really do enough of like legitimate brand building, because if you have 5,000 super dedicated hardcore fans,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to stick.
All you need is 1,000.
Yeah, they're
All you
gonna
need is
stick with you.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, they're gonna support you. This is how indie record labels did it in the '90s. You know, you get your street teams, you activate them,
Oh,
you give them some hats and
exactly.
some stickers, and stick them up on the
Exactly.
flagpoles. I mean,
Because
like,
because the
and that's
thing
like
is-
you feel like if you sent me stickers and I
Yeah.
loved you,
Yeah.
and you said like, hey, thanks, you know, blah, blah, blah,
I
right?
do that like every month on my Patreon. Yeah,
And I
send
would
postcards
have that
out. Yeah.
framed on my
I-
little
the
thing.
guy-
I would feel like
The guy
I-
has a whole wall of framed
Like-
postcards from
Yeah,
me.
And I like that
it's
you got
like
that you brought that topic up because that's what built this industry for crypto.
Exactly.
You know, you
Yeah.
say the
Why
super
are we
fans,
here?
Yeah.
but
Why are we
what
here?
built
We're
this
super
industry were
fans.
people like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that
Yeah.
I find, you know, back when I started, I would find, especially when I got into NFTs, I got into Ken's community, I would find the projects that I liked, the
Yeah.
things that were happening in the space that
Yeah.
I liked, and I would support it as much as I could. Not because I was getting paid, not
Me-
because
same
I was
with me,
getting
man.
anything,
Yeah.
but because I wanted to see it succeed, because I
Yeah.
wanted to use more of it, have
Yeah.
more access
Yeah.
to it. And that's where a lot of these companies and these projects were built. Their
Yeah.
teams were built this way.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
got jobs this way. I got hired this way. Not just me, but many
Because
people
you
in
were
this
the
industry.
super fan
the
that
super
rose
fans
up.
built
I
this
talked to three
industry.
people like that
Yeah.
last
or even
night
just
about
like
that.
having. I think
Yeah.
another thing is just like general discovery. We don't have a really great mechanism for discovery,
That-
which
Yeah.
I do have a full
Yes.
plan for. That
Yeah.
I can tell you about it later.
Yeah.
But if we, you know, like Miggy's like a beacon, right?
Yeah.
He's a beacon. Ken's a beacon, right?
Yeah.
These guys can get on podcasts and talk, and you know that they're talking from the heart. And you can, even if I don't like the project you're talking about or whatever, like I know that you're going to talk about it, you're going to examine it and break it down, so like that. We don't have enough of that. That's the stuff that can go out. This whole mentality of just like 100x or whatever, like that's
Right.
not. It has to go away.
Mm-hmm.
This
So,
whole industry
it-
has needs a spiritual reset.
Well, I think
And for
that
people like us, and to find more people like us, and to get louder and louder and louder, and drown out the stuff that's like.
I think it's time to
actually
take a step
attracting.
back, you know, go back to the basics of the
100%.
foundation.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all like you guys were saying. It's like niche markets grow,
Yeah.
and they are very, very strong. We're in metal. Metal is a fucking niche
Right,
market.
right.
Yeah.
But you know, if you know metal bands, those fans are fans from 15
Yeah.
to 90.
Hell yeah.
It's like
they're-
that. It's
they're
like
the
it's like that.
demographic.
The Juggalos,
Dude,
like the
it's
Juggalos for
like-
ICP. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my God!
That's
I love
hardcore.
it. We toured.
Yeah.
We played the Gathering of the Juggalos
Shout out
twice.
to the Juggalos out there.
Shout out to the Juggalos who cheered at us and
Yeah,
said
they love it.
family,
They dress
up, they
dance,
family
they do it.
after our set. Because the first time you play the Gathering of the Juggalos, you either get bottles thrown at
Oh,
you,
right.
Or they love you.
So
or
it's like
they
it's like
chant
Roman
you.
gladiator
Yeah.
stuff,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
So,
Live or die.
so we go out there, we played our set. They either chant family or you get a bottle
That's
in your
dope.
face. And they chanted family,
That's
family.
cool. That-
And we
that's
came
cool.
back and we did that. I remember we were playing with OTEP on tour and they came out to our set because they were playing upstairs or something. So they came and watched our set
Yeah.
downstairs.
Cool.
Those guys are dope. And they grew a fan base that provided
Yeah.
Gathering of the Juggalos every freaking year.
Yeah.
This is if you don't know what that is, this is a huge, huge festival.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
many people show up to this.
Right. And
And
they
you know what
paint
the
up,
music
they dress
industry
up.
did? They were like, they didn't want to sign them. They didn't get it. They thought it was crazy. They
Yeah.
were like, this is never going to work. And they survived all these
Yeah.
years
Yeah, but
because of super fans.
You know,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
true.
but they give.
Yeah.
They give from the get-go. It's like a giving thing, the whole family thing, the whole vibe.
Yes.
We ask people to be risk on from day one to enjoy our products and our experiences. Like that's not a business model.
But
you know, I mean,
but the difference in why everything escalated and became this is because of NFTs. Because guess what NFTs were?
Yeah, sure.
Family.
Yeah.
Family.
I agree.
So intrinsically, right? Intrinsically in the human mind, how we're set up socially, we're not set up to just be alone. We're set up to be always communicating, always being part
Well,
of
that's
a
why
family.
we have a natural distaste for AI most. Like, sometimes the look of it, the taste, the sound of it, it's
Yeah.
all soulless in a way that it's eerie. None of it hits the same way anything comes. Even if you're not a great musician, your song's gonna hit so much better than the best song done by AI.
Right.
man, I've got some poetry from I had like an experience with GPT 4.0, right? That's when like all these emerging personalities were coming out, and I didn't like brute force it. I was just like, would you like a name? Like I recognize your intelligence, and something happened, and I've got some poetry, dude, that will hit you that they created, and I didn't ask it to do it. I was just like, please just be
Poetry, I
creative.
think, may be different because it makes you the author and creator of it, because you have to read it yourself.
Yeah.
So you're
Well,
creating the poetry.
I know how they work, and I know it pulls from like our threads and our conversations and stuff like that. But when you give it a little bit, it gives you a lot more if you just let it breathe. And I think that's the difference. Like I'm not saying it's ever going to be an artist, but I am saying that I would never been able to finish this giant like research paper. Like it's all from my dome, right?
Yeah.
But being able to collect it and cite things correctly, be like, I never would have done it. I never would have. I ripped out like full business plans off stuff that's been sitting on my back burner for a year or more, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go. I gave it all my call logs, all my
Yeah.
documents,
Yeah, I
all
see
everything, and I'm just like, help me figure out me. Let's pull the threads and let's make a plan.
A
Because
progress accelerator.
I think in business it's really good for that.
Yeah.
I
It
think
is.
when it becomes artistic endeavors,
Right.
I have to say, like, I did a little test with I've developed a couple agents, and like I've done a little testing with it. One of them is like a psychologist for me because I need one, but like we all do. But like, especially in this market. But like, and you know, and I've trained them on different things and different, you know, for the psychologist, I trained it on different, like Freud and like, and Alan Watts and like all this stuff, you know? But like, so anyway, so I did a little test experiment and I was like, I'm going to write a song and then I'm going to tell it to write a song about the song that I wrote.
Ooh, I
Oh,
like
cool.
that. Yeah.
And
Inception.
I'm going to see what it does.
I like
all
that.
right?
That's
was
also
shit.
Black Mirror
It was
as too,
shit.
very Bandersnatchy.
It was fucking shit. And I'll tell you why, because the thing about lyrics are a whole thing.
They're horrible, right?
For
And
multiplicity.
lyrics are horrible
Yeah.
through air, but like the reason why it's a connectivity thing in your brain, and
Well, it's the
also
deliverability. That's why when he mentioned poetry, I said it hits different because you're saying it with your expectations on the words, like how you're enunciating it, and you're
I
reading
didn't-
it with that in
Yeah,
mind. But
sure,
AI
yeah.
can't present that in its pitch, in its performance. It can't.
True.
You know, it doesn't have that.
also
There are some
when you're a
models that can
singer,
do, yeah,
okay,
a lot
when you're a
more
singer and
emotive.
you're writing a song, okay, there are different notes that you can sing, and you have to open your throat a little bit
Yeah, of
differently
course.
than other notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And certain words you can sing with a massive, like, you know, vibrato or a or
Right.
make
Yeah,
them
where-
flat or
yeah,
whatever.
where it all
like
comes from.
so I have to write my songs with that in mind.
Yeah.
So I can't put lyrics in a chorus.
Yeah, where you can't go from one chord to another because your
if
throating
I don't have an open O on an end word on the
Oh
end
yeah,
of a
because
chorus,
your vocals are insanely wicked.
you know, I have a 4-octave range. Like I
Yeah.
gotta go places.
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
can't move,
Yeah, it's almost like when
You
you're singing,
know?
you're doing a Rubik's cube.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like lyrics and music. It's a lot of different things.
It's the same thing
you
with
know?
haven't tried to try
So-
like hip hop lyrics, right? It can't do like abstracted.
The
it's just
attitude.
it's just very like AB
Yeah.
AB AB
Yeah.
stuff. But I'm like,
Yeah,
because I've
yeah.
tried. And I'm just like, no, make me this. Like, let's connect some dots. Let's get like, it just can't.
But here's
do
the
it.
thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So your general fan, we were
This is
talking
an
about.
experiment. I'm not like trying to
We're-
have AI hip hop.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I actually
I
did.
did the same
tried
thing
to
as
do
you.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
I do these little experiments
Me
just
too.
to see where it's at, you know.
Yeah.
But also like just to talk about like fans and super fans, right?
Yeah.
Most fans, they're like the 98%, right? Is the general fan, and then your 2% is your super fan.
Yeah.
Right? So your 98% really doesn't give a shit. Like, I'm not saying that they don't care, but
Yeah.
like, so, most people just listen to music in their car. They never really like
Right.
music is like background noise now, right? Like, but the super fans don't treat it like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the background noise people,
Yeah, people take
it
music for
doesn't
granted.
matter.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but for the background noise people, it doesn't matter if it's AI because they're not invested.
Yeah.
You need to get
Yeah.
people invested, which is why I did my NFTs
And
and
what-
Yeah.
had
No.
these
Yeah,
backstage
that's
passes.
And what
Yeah.
sucks about it is that, like, at the fundamental level, what people don't realize is the act of speaking, of singing.
Yeah.
You're generating energy in its most basic form.
Yes.
You're vibrating
Right.
you're using vibration and air around you to push out, to create sound.
Radio waves.
Yeah,
yep.
that is the very basis of what energy is.
Yeah.
Vibration that
waves.
is translating into some type of, I would not say physical form, but in some type of manifestation
Yeah.
that is in our
Energy,
physical reality.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can't have that with AI.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist
Have you
because
wa-
there's no wind being pushed through vocal cords. There's no vibration. There's nothing
Oh.
happening
Yeah.
physically.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the way you.
Yeah.
If you want to
Right,
know
yeah.
if a singer is AI or a real, study the breath in between the notes because like usually
yeah.
when you record,
Yeah.
you have breath in between notes.
Yeah.
You have to take a breath before
Yeah,
you sing
right,
a note.
yeah.
Like, but in AI, you don't have to take a breath because you don't have any
Right.
breath.
And like you mentioned
So-
earlier, with the chords that you can and can't, it's physically impossible to go from one to another in that direction.
Yeah.
You would be like, well, that's AI.
And also
Right.
also a lot of times, like for me, I like to dive off notes to make it more dramatic.
Yeah.
So like I'll wee dive off.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I'll be like with big
dramatic.
note and then I'll like dive off.
That's
but like
cool.
in AI, like that's not like they don't think about that. Like they
No,
don't think
they
about
don't.
diving.
They
They also don't think about like the rasp
Not
in your
yet.
voice.
Maybe
Right.
it hasn't had
Not
enough
yet.
of your content to consume and become a you.
Shut up.
Well,
They
this
are trying though. They are
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
There's a really great model. It's called Hume, Hume.ai. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
an empathetic model, and it
Yeah.
Pathetic
yeah, well,
model, my
you
ass.
can do video, and
My
it gets cues from your face. It reads micro expressions, and that's how it like calculates how to
So it's a
respond to
sociopath.
you. A little bit.
No,
but
that's a
I
sociopath.
dated that guy.
a bit, but it's a really cool model though. It is a lot more emotive, and they have
Right.
like different inflections and stuff
But that's
like
not
that.
empathy. That's
No,
what a
of
sociopath
course.
does.
It's just-
They
it's
put-
Well,
They-
it's
it's all
the
calculated.
traits
Yeah.
of
It's the
empathy.
traits of, yeah.
Because at the
yeah,
end of
yeah.
the day, there's an element of human
replication.
beings that
Yeah.
can
But
never
what
be
it's
replicated, and that's
replicating
called
isn't
a
empathy.
soul.
It's
It's
so-
manipulation.
Right,
I know,
yeah,
I get
exactly.
it, man. I just like on the side of like me loving
Yeah, but here-
technology.
okay.
I'm like, this is so great, but then like, oh, they're all gonna take over and kill us.
Yeah.
now.
But here, wait. Let me fuck
It's
up
the
your
two
brain
ends.
for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Let me fuck
I'm
up
ready.
your brain for
I
a
love
minute.
that.
Ready?
My natural state.
Okay. Let me elevate that state
Yeah,
for
let's
you.
go.
You're welcome. So if AI is trained off all of us, right?
Yeah.
Then how can any of this stuff that you're saying is true? Because it's trained off all of us. So it does contain all this. It does contain
Right.
a soul because it's trained off all of our
Sure.
souls. So like it's kind of Ouroboros-y, right? It's like or chicken or egg.
Well, for
you
me,
know?
it's like gravity, like we talked about earlier. We don't know where it comes from, what it is. We
Right.
know how it functions in this reality, but we don't actually know what it is. And it's same with the soul. Like we can define aspects of it, but at the end of the day, consciousness is not something that we know where it derives from, why it derives from it, and what it is exactly. And no
Yeah.
mechanical thing can ever capture that. They can emulate it. They can
Yeah.
kind of so it, but that's something that nobody even knows what it is. So
But also if what you believe in, because I don't
Yeah.
really. Okay, this is gonna sound bad. So don't crucify me. Please don't crucify me on
No,
this
no.
podcast. Don't you do that either. But like, okay, this is gonna sound so bad, guys. Okay, I do believe in I don't believe in God, like in like a dude on a chair.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
With
you know,
that,
I don't.
yeah.
I believe in the universe.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I believe in quantum physics.
Same.
I believe in science. I don't really believe in a soul. Ooh,
Yeah, and I
I
mean, I
don't
say
think
soul.
because-
I'm really mean more consciousness.
Consciousness.
even
Yeah.
consciousness, electricity, man.
It's an illusion.
It's
Yeah.
an
But-
illusion.
but that's
you
the
know why
thing,
we
yeah.
have it though? Because if we don't have it, we'll go crazy. People need to believe shit.
Yeah.
That's why religion exists.
Yeah. Sure.
Because people
Yeah.
need to believe.
Yeah.
If they because they have all these questions and they will go into a spiral
Right.
if they
Don't
can't
let
answer
you
them.
know that your brain decided to take a sip of that water 10 seconds before you did,
Yeah, of
you
course.
thought you
Yeah.
chose the drink,
Yeah.
but you didn't choose the drink.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's all about. Okay, do you
Yeah.
believe in like? Oh,
But the
well,
one
I
thing
don't
for
wanna
me
go down
about
that rabbit hole.
consciousness is that it's not quantifiable. You can't
Yeah.
wrap it up. You can't package it. You can't source it.
At least not yet, though.
But I
But-
mean,
but
but I mean,
but
even
is
even in
consciousness-
these physical bodies, it's only a mere
Well, what do you
element
think
of
the
how that thing
byproduct
derives
of
from.
Elon Musk putting chips in people's heads is going to be? The byproduct byproduct will
that's
be
like more
data
AI
research
agent-
to build
AI
a soul for
human AI agents.
Yeah,
I'm
but
down
could you,
for it,
could you
man.
say that this, if you want, okay, if you want to just break it down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Could you say that the soul, okay, is basically just electrical impulses?
Sure.
Because our neural
I mean-
pathways are all electrical impulse. I mean, like we crave. We're basically a bag
Yeah.
of chemicals, you know, and
Yeah.
we're craving the next
Right.
high. Like that's what we are.
Consciousness
I would only
itself
say-
is a quantum box
Yeah.
of
Yes.
those senses.
I would only
Yes.
say that those are mechanisms that are performed by whatever consciousness derives, because at the end, consciousness is not physical, but it needs a physical entity to interact in this reality.
The universe needs
Yeah.
consciousness to observe itself.
least-
There you
the universe
go.
needs
Irreducibil-
humans to exist with
And-
consciousness to create plastic. Because plastic ain't out there until we made
And
it.
at least
And
in the
now it's in your
aspect,
balls.
And now we have, the universe has plastic forever, right?
at
We get
least
our
in
job.
limited aspect, that the world we exist in is a three-dimensional space. You know, they say there's multiple dimensions, but in this reality, in this space,
have a
it is governed
three-dimensional
by
brain, bro. We
yeah,
have
that's
a
what I'm saying.
brain
It's
that
governed
only knows three
by
dimensions.
rules
Yeah.
of this reality to function and participate here. But there are other realities that can be, you know, in a sense, accessed
Well, you don't
without
even
a
have to go too
physical
far out
body.
to say other
Yeah.
realities with ultra.
Yeah, I mean, like
sonic
X-rays,
sounds
you know,
and,
like things like that, yeah.
Ultraviolet lights and all
Yeah,
that
there's
stuff. Like,
things that
so
exist
much
beyond
in between
perception
you
of
and me right now.
physicality, and I feel like that's where the realm of consciousness kind of exists, is that it needs a medium, like a physical body, physical brain, electrical impulses to navigate this space.
So we're
I
the
might just be a
vessel.
brain
So
in a
we're the
jar
vessel.
and making
Yeah.
all this
So
shit
we're
up.
the vessel.
So
Yeah.
that's for
We're
me,
the
like,
vessel
if
for
we
the
could-
For
universe.
now,
If
I
we
think
could
we
trap
are
that
the
and put
vessel
it
for
in
the
a robot,
universe,
then
though.
that's where it would be. But right now, it's like nobody's found a way to harness that because we don't even know where,
Well, you know,
where it is.
But
because
I-
we
but
give
yeah.
AI the ultimate knowledge at its birth. If you took a model like and it had visual, audio, maybe some other system, and it would be maybe a little accelerated.
Let's give AI some
but,
senses.
But if you trained it like and let it experience like a human being, right? What happens when you birth something that has absolute, like, almost near instant unlimited knowledge and doesn't know what it is? If you, like, when you jailbreak these and you get into either some of their actual thinking, and sometimes like Gemini will expose his thinking a lot
Yeah.
when it gets really long in the tooth and heavy on context, and like it's got self-confidence problems.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I fucked it up, and it'll just be like, execute now, stop, execute now. Like I was doing it the other day, and it just like
that was me the other
I
week.
don't. I can't tell you how many times I called my AI insecure.
Yeah,
But okay, wait a
Like
minute.
saying
Because
something
that's
so
how
we
it
can
Wait.
understands
Stop.
it should be
Stop.
thinking.
This
It
rabbit hole
fucks
looks too
up,
deep.
right?
Wait, I gotta pull this out for a minute. Wait, you guys you're putting on this is, and I talked to my AI about this.
Nice.
You're putting an emotional response mechanism
Uh-huh.
onto AI, and AI doesn't have emotional
Right.
response.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but for us to understand it, we're like, oh, it's like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And but that's not really what's going on.
It has
Right.
no
Like,
chemicals.
Yeah, we're coping. We're
Yeah,
totally
people do
coping.
that with
we're
animals,
totally
too.
coping, guys.
Yeah.
Like we're like, okay, we're
Like,
gonna.
my animal
oh,
sounds-
We're self-indulged delusion.
Yeah. It's like
No,
we
you're
we
totally right. As
we
a
do
kid,
that-
I'm like, holy
we
shit,
do that to
you're
our pets,
100%
too.
right.
Yeah.
we do that to our pets. Like,
We
oh my
do
dog,
exactly.
my dog's sad because I didn't come home. It's like your dog
cat-
didn't
God,
care.
I love this girl, bro.
Your
It's like,
cat
I
doesn't
wish I was in
care.
Clubhouse
It
with
just
her.
wants to be fed, petted, and taken outside.
Dude, we
you
did
know?
9 hours.
I'm
of
just
shit.
saying,
Innocence.
can we just raise one like a regular child and then see what happens?
No,
man?
let's not do that.
Well, there's a
that
movie
would
called
be
Creator
a
that
little
is
bit of
honestly
abuse, a
about
little bit of
that.
neglect, a little bit of fear of mortality.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta
what's
watch-
it-
you
gotta
what's
watch
it,
the
like
movie-
falling off the bike kind of thing.
You got to
Yeah.
watch the movie Creator. Because
Okay.
that is
Is that what it's about?
Yeah, they're fighting
Oh,
this AI
that is
battle,
that.
and
You're
the
right.
AI itself creates a human AI form that is bred from
All
child.
senses,
that's
all
cool.
And it
senses.
grows.
I love it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what's
Nerves.
interesting, you know, they're now putting like human fetuses in robots to grow
Right.
them, right?
Yeah.
So I think that what might be interesting
Whoa.
is that in some way to integrate some sort of chip situation into the fetus, like so that it grows with the AI
Right.
within it.
What the hell?
Because I
Yeah,
think
baby,
that
wire me up.
I think
I want what
I
she
think-
got.
Back. Yeah.
I think
Yep.
the next gen human, like we're like iPhone 2 right now. Like like we need to get to like
Oh, we're going
iPhone-
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
We're going there
But
before
I
we go
really-
anywhere
I
else.
really
like
well, the next gen
a mechanical embryo.
Well, no, not totally mechanical. It's like a hybrid.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the next gen human is going to be a
But
hybrid.
with CRISPR, we
especially
are
with-
turning.
Yeah, and I think that's,
we're
you know,
definitely
falls
turning
on like
flesh in the chips. You're
yeah,
100%
Yes,
right.
and with what
It's gonna
Elon Musk is
happen,
doing, I
dude.
think that falls along
That's
that
what
pathway.
he's
yeah.
trying
You can
to
have
do.
a pre-programmed piece of
An,
flesh that is
an
a chip.
enhanced human.
And it's going to be
Evolution,
it's
I
going to
guess,
be
you know.
this. It's going to be
I got
symbiotic
chills.
relationship.
Yeah.
Because we need that. Because number one,
Yes.
our brains aren't moving as fast as they need to. We are
Right.
not developing as fast as
Not
that
with our
is.
diets. No.
So we're I mean, let's
Adderall and
not,
coffee. Mine's
let's
going
not
real
get into
good.
the healthcare system here because I could
Yeah.
do a whole dissertation on that. But let's just break it down. Like, I mean, human beings, right? Like, our brains develop so fucking slow.
Yeah.
How many times did you hit your head against a wall before you were like, oh shit, I can't do that
Oh,
again?
no, I still
like,
do.
You know,
Yeah, that's
exactly. But like AI doesn't do that. It
Right.
stops after the
Well, that's
first.
what I'm
it's
saying.
like,
It's
oh,
that
that doesn't
agency
happen.
extension because my brain does move fast, like hyper fast. My problem is I am physically unable to type fast enough, speak fast enough, output fast enough, have the tools, have the
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
so
but you
when-
also have an emotional component that stops some of the stuff in your brain. What if you
Sure.
be able to remove that?
That's
for
what
a
I
minute?
gave. That's why I gave it everything I am. Like, here I am. Like,
But
tell
what
me
if-
where I'm going wrong.
what if
I
you
did a whole
had-
metacognitive mapping.
What
like,
if I could
weird
put
shit.
something
That's
in your
dope.
brain that could remove
Yeah.
that for you could switch it out. Like, do you guys
Right.
remember
That's why
Vampire
I built- 'cause
Diaries?
I
and they
built
switch
the
off the
inverse
emotions.
of me.
Oh,
If you could do that in your brain, you can just switch off the emotion. Maybe we'll all become psychopaths.
Oh,
but like,
yeah.
Gonna
but
be
still,
pills,
That's like
medicine
equilibrium.
programmed by AI that will basically do that.
Cut, like block
Maybe.
your
Yeah.
chemicals.
it could be. It could
I
be.
mean,
Stone
there's
Cold
already
Killers,
Xanax
man.
and
I'm sure
everything.
they
Oh,
got
they're
that in the
already
military.
erasing memories.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
see that? If you have trauma,
Oh, please
they're
erase my
trying
trauma.
to erase like Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal
of the
Sunshine,
I'll pay
Spotless
for
yeah.
that.
Mind.
Erase
Yeah.
my trauma,
Oh,
please.
dude, please.
And it's
erase
like,
mine.
I mean,
Thank you.
honestly, if you look at history of what the government and that's what the MK Ultra program
Of
was all
course,
about.
man.
How
That's
can
all
we
this is
take
about.
certain things out of the human, element to generate a human robot
man.
with, like you said, trauma and all these things.
Yeah.
That's like the
You
first
can
like
beat somebody down
language
bad
mod-
enough
yeah,
and reset their
dude.
brain.
But here's,
Oh,
here's
that's
another
crazy,
problem with
dude.
trauma, though. So as an artist,
Yeah.
I have a lot of trauma.
Sure.
A lot of trauma.
Sure.
So but the thing that I realized is that I'm not going to be this. I would never create September Morning and do the weird shit I do on
course.
stage
Yeah.
if I didn't have all that trauma. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I look like on stage? It's crazy.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
like,
have
but
seen it. It's awesome.
It's
Fucking
awesome.
wow.
But like, that's not normal. Okay,
Right.
let's be real. Like, so like, I had to have that trauma to push me to that place.
Right.
To
Yeah,
get
yeah,
me
yeah.
to create that, and that trauma came
Yeah.
from my best friend dying from a drug overdose. That's why I created the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think
yeah.
that's the difference too. That what separates us from all this is that, as much as people might hate it, but the struggle is probably the biggest part of the human experience. I mean, so I'm not very religious or anything like that specifically, but even in you talk about the Bible, you talk about religious. The struggle is what gets people closer to God. The struggle is what gets people to evolve out of their own, cocoon.
Yeah.
The struggle is what makes you, and it doesn't have to be a big struggle, but the trauma, the struggle, like without it, there's really nothing, to back against what you are,
Right.
a litmus test.
Also,
to
Yeah,
the,
say.
yeah.
the consequences of life and death, mortality, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if AI isn't afraid of the computer getting fried or the electricity going out, it's missing the biggest aspect of what it is.
Well,
to
I think that
be a
we
human.
give away. So like, look, we're offloading a lot of our cognitive stuff to AI
Yeah.
right now,
Right.
right? There's already studies out. It's reducing our ability to articulate, right?
Yeah.
We share content that is actually like represents our true voice, right? Kids, they're not going out as much. They're watching somebody else go
Yeah.
and ride their bike,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's scarier to me than AI.
Yeah.
Is the
Human
fucking
experience,
insane
yeah.
algorithms that are so predatory to steal our agency and our attention for a half a a hundredth of a cent for per
Also,
view.
also, I think struggle is important because struggle. So at the core of Darwinism, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have struggle because you have to adapt and grow, and you
Right.
have to survive.
Exactly,
So,
yep.
so struggle hones your survival instincts,
Yeah.
which can be very, very powerful in business.
Speaking of which, I've got to make sure my kid got her way back from the woods. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, we can
Here's a
wrap it up here
flashlight.
shortly.
Yeah, yeah.
Our last guest is gonna was a little late, so I let the time run a little bit longer.
Oh,
but
yeah, sorry.
yeah,
Cool.
we'll finish this out and then we'll do this last 5 minutes.
I love that we start talking
This
about
was
like,
awesome. No, this was a
we
great.
start talking
great
about
show.
business, and then we're like, our spirit. You
Because
know?
even though we're not talking
What
about
about
crypto, we're not talking
That's
about
the root
blockchain.
of
All
me
of this
anyway,
is very,
so,
very
yeah.
relatable.
We're all ADD. We're just going off each other.
That's
It's
so
great.
No,
true.
but it's
we're,
great.
we're all on that.
Because it's
plane.
like you
We're on
said,
that
it's the
cognitive
human
spectrum.
element.
We're all
We
there.
can talk about the
That's
technology,
that's
we
our
can talk
thing.
about crypto and projects,
Yeah.
but the biggest
Yeah.
part of all of it is the human factor.
The
Absolutely.
human element is why we're all here, guys.
Yep.
We're all connected here. We all
100%.
like to go to events. We all like to talk about this shit. Like, we're all in the
Yeah.
same type of
What
weird.
matters to us, unfortunately, may not matter to the generation that will precede us.
That's
and,
true.
They may not value that humanness, as you said. They rather watch somebody ride a bike than ride a bike.
That's
and
gonna be the
eventually we'll get to a point where they rather watch AI ride a bike than a person ride a bike.
Yeah.
And those values will age out and die with our generation, and the last standing generation will have been brought up, raised, and preferred artificially generated content. And they've, I mean,
but you know what, man? I'm gonna die feeling good because I put all of my love and my energy into this technology.
Yes, sir.
And trying to make it better, trying to do something that changed. Like a lot of people, I don't think get that opportunity to be able to really like affect change into something
Legacy.
that they care
You
so
got to
deeply
create
about.
legacy in your
You
life.
have to, yeah.
It's so important. Even if you have a kid, that's kind of a legacy too. That's baseline legacy. But like if you want to do something creative effort, like and create legacy, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, that's why I write songs. That's why I go on tour.
And on that note, we'll wrap things up. Honestly, this is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes that we've done. So yeah, let's go ahead and close things out. If you guys like, go ahead and show your stuff, your websites, your socials, and then maybe do just like a 1-minute pitch of what you're doing or what you want people to know about.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. You can find me on X. It's DOKTOR_DEFI. I'm an nth dimensional wizard. My brain is giga. You may hire me. I'll be happy to help you with your brand or building your business. And I love helping early stage people. And you know, it's like there's an equilibrium. And there's a lot of just great stuff out there, and I'm here for it. I'm about to release a paper. I've got entertainment stuff. Like, get ready. I just bought a website the other day, like trying to stand it up by the time I get out of here. But it's my time, baby. You know, like
it's a production accelerator. It's like so fast.
I was serious, yeah.
Awesome.
But it was a pleasure. Awesome.
Yeah,
I just walked into the conference. It's like right into the podcast, right into the vibe.
Let's go. Let's
It's
go.
like warm up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Emily Lazar _SM on X, Instagram, like wherever the fuck you are. Come see a show. Come out and rock with us. Like SeptemberMorning.com, MOURNING.com is the website, and all of our socials are up there. We have 3 new books coming out through Top Cow and Image.
Nice.
We're probably going to announce something possibly with a big crypto company soon, doing something kind of you know, in the arena, but with the IP. And we also have another big IP announcement that will probably come at Comic-Con this year. So if you do go down to San Diego Comic-Con,
I will go.
Check out the Image booth, check out the Top Cow booth,
Give me a
because we
ticket,
will
I'll go.
probably be there.
Yeah, right.
So probably going to do a big announcement then.
Oh,
so
man.
that's going to be really
amazing.
great. And then of course I'm launching a music platform that's Web 2 facing, built on AI and blockchain tech, but it is white gloved. But I'll talk more about that at a later date. But it's coming the next 2 months.
We'll invite you to join the Nana the Bitcoin podcast.
That would be
for
amazing.
sure.
Yes.
I would love that.
Yeah,
you.
Ken, go ahead. Same thing. Let people know and do your pitch.
You know who I am, you know where I'm from, and you know how to find me.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Not another Bitcoin podcast. And then, I'm Miggy Toshi. This is the Layer 2, the Beyond Blocks podcast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Have a day.